leadership starts at home. And this is, I think, what people forget, which is we put pressure in our companies, we put pressure on our politicians, we sit back and say, why aren't you doing this? And the reality is our politics and our politicians are largely a reflection of us. We're complaining that we're not getting these things from them. We're complaining that they're divisive, that they're stubborn, that they don't listen to each other. Well, that's us. That's us. They're a reflection of us. And the reality is you don't need rank to be a leader. I know many people who sit at very high levels of organizations who are not leaders. They have authority, and we do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we wouldn't trust them or follow them. And yet there are people with no formal position of authority that have made the choice to look after the person to the left of them and to look after the person to the right of them. And we trust them and follow them anywhere. Those are the leaders. So leadership is quite frankly, the awesome responsibility to take care of those around us. And every single one of us has the opportunity to be the leader we wish we had, whether at work or at home. It's the one who takes the initiative to take care of others.
So what does that look like if somebody says, yeah, I want to be what Simon just described. I want to be that person. I may not have the rank or the authority. How do I begin?
So again, it's like eating an elephant. You can start anywhere. Like I want to get into shape, I have to do curls and I have to do squats and I have to do it doesn't matter where to start anywhere. And I mentioned some of the skills before. Active listening, I think, is the big one, and leaning into tension. So we have tension at work and we have tension at home. And usually the way we address tension is we either ignore it, we're passive aggressive, or we sometimes wait for it to build up and then it bubbles out and boils up and we attack someone, or we start in an unhealthy way where we make someone feel pressed into a corner with some sort of accusation. And so the ability to lean into tension in a healthy way and tell someone how we're feeling in a situation and necessarily take responsibility for our part creates a scenario, creates an environment in which the other person is not only more likely to listen, but more likely to take responsibility for their actions as well. I'll give you a perfect example from my own life. Someone very, very dear to me told me that she's been struggling to trust me over the past few months. I immediately got defensive. I immediately say, how could you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me, the week it happened? Why did you wait to tell me months after this is why you felt this way? And she interrupted me and said, you're getting defensive. I just need you to hear me. And I had to check myself and realize that because it's hard to hear that I'd done anything that made somebody not trust me, the reality is I had to hold space and say, tell me more. What else? And just let her tell me how she felt without taking it personally. The result was profound. Not only did she feel very held and very trusted in that moment, but I learned the skill. I learned to sort of put my own feelings aside for a moment to allow another person to feel heard. And I think that is a skill that's just completely missing at work and at home.